Hey everyone, and welcome back to the One More Book podcast channel. My name is Florence, and I'm glad to have you here. Today's video is my May wrap-up of all the books that I finished reading in May. May is one of my favorite months of the year because obviously my birthday falls in May, and I think this May has been extra special because the weather has been amazing. It feels like summer has been here already. So I would also say that my reading in May was a mix. We had highs and lows and disappointments and a couple of books that completely surprised me and stole my heart. And I would really attribute this to the reading challenge that I decided to go on in May. If you watch a couple of videos, maybe the 3 previous videos that I've done, I'm almost finishing. I decided to do a reading challenge to try and read all the books that have been shortlisted for the Women's Fiction Prize 2026, and I even went ahead to read some that were on the long list that I found available at my library. So I think I could attribute that to just the variation of books that I've read in May. Let's just say it made for a really interesting reading experience. And if you're new here, hi and welcome. I hope that you like it here. If you do, don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment and share or come back again. And if you are a regular or like any of my new subscribers, of course, thank you so much for being here. First up, I'm going to start with Kingfisher by Rosie Kelly. And wow. I think I've just posted a video, which is like a full review of the book. I just did an extra video just for this book because it was an amazing read. This book follows a deeply emotional journey through grief, through identity, through human connection, through care. It centers on these few characters who are navigating loss and love in a way that feels painfully real and incredibly intimate and very relatable. I absolutely enjoyed this book. It is very character-based, no really sudden plot twist or things that surprise you. It is gentle and it is tender. This, in my opinion, is the likely winner of the prize. It's just that good. That is what I'm hoping for, actually. It made me change my mind because I already had another book as the winner. The Mercy Step by Marsha Hutchinson was at the top, but after reading this, to me, this felt amazing. The writing is very haunting, like it has stayed with me. I listened to it as an audiobook because I couldn't find it anywhere. And after just finishing it, I had to order it. And my local bookstore said it might take 2 to 3 weeks because there's a backlog, of course. But I'll just wait. I want to have it and to read it again. The emotional depth is just unreal. And it's one of those books that I know will stay with me for a long time. And I just want to have it with me so that I can reread it whenever I feel like. And I gave this 6 stars. Yes, 6 stars. In my book, you can give 6 stars. And I don't do that lightly. So really amazing read. Next, we have Flashlight by Susan Choi. These are also borrowed from my library. I had to bring it back at the beginning of the week. And this one is like a multi-generational saga in form of a literary fiction novel that explores identity, explores memory, relationships, and it weaves all this together through multiple timelines and multiple perspectives. So it's very confusing. It's very confusing because it's very fragmented, just like anyone's memory. It doesn't follow like a straight line. It just keeps on skipping. So you are here and then you are 10 years ago and then you are brought a few years ahead. It is in multiple characters. The writing is absolutely lyrical. It is stunning. Like, I enjoyed the writing. I really love the writing. But my problem with it was, I think the author was trying to put so much into the book. I totally understand why, but at over 400 pages, it is a lot. Like, I had to keep on looking, okay, how much pages do I still have left before the end of the book? It just felt so much. There were so many themes that she was trying to unpack, and you can call that rich, but to me it just felt overwhelming. There was so much going on. I love the history, I love the geography, there's so much that I learned, but it was just a lot. And I think also with the fragmented memories, it was just a lot. It just turned reading into a chore. I felt like it was more of a chore than an enjoyable experience. And I think for me that was disappointing. So that's why I gave this 3.5 stars. Then we have Celestial Bodies by Jokha Alharthi, which I actually have a copy of. I borrowed a copy from my library. I don't have a copy myself, so I got this from the library, and it is translated by Marilyn Booth. It's actually the winner of the the International Booker Prize 2019. Actually, it's the first winner by an Omani author, because Jokha Alharthi is an Omani author. So this was my first time reading anything by an Omani author, which was really exciting. And it was a book club pick for our book club for April, together with The Secret Lives of Baba Segi's Wives by Lola Shonein. So we picked two books. We discussed this. So the book follows multiple generations of a family in Oman and explores themes of tradition, of womanhood, of change, and women's roles in society. I'm not going to lie, but the beginning was not easy. When I started, I was just like, what is going on? Help. I wrote that in the book club WhatsApp group. I was just like, help. I couldn't get into it because I was like, who is this now? There were so many characters, and there's a family tree, but it's terribly done. When you start it, you have to keep on, because it's different characters and also very different timelines. It doesn't follow a linear path, so it's not like chronological. So I had to keep on going back. Who is this? And I think what helped was me seeking help from our WhatsApp group and just saying, hey, could you please explain this? So I got articles, interviews. I went and read some interviews by the author and just got a bit more insight into Omani and the traditions, and it helped. So I genuinely think that I wouldn't have gotten through it the same way without our WhatsApp discussion. So I'm really, really grateful for our book club, and even the book club discussion was amazing. It's always nice. We had Omani dessert. I've never had any like sweets dessert from Omani, obviously. So it was quite nice. We had a picnic at a park. Amazing. Once it clicked, and I ended up giving it 3.75 stars. It was a rewarding read, but one that requires a lot of patience. Okay, now we need to talk about A Guardian and a Thief by Megha Majumdar. And this was on an Opera book club pick in 2025, and it was longlisted for the Women's Fiction Prize 2026. And this I also borrowed from my library. And there's a book club that I'm in that this was also their pick. So this book is supposed to explore power and survival and moral ambiguity by following two main characters whose lives intersect in complicated ways. It is set in a future Calcutta that is ravaged by drought. So there is lack of food, lack of water. It's very dystopian, but also it's something that might just happen. But this turned out to be one of my most disappointing reads of the year. I really, really hated the execution of the book. It was just done so poorly. She picked out themes that were very important, especially climate change, But she did such a shoddy job. I don't like that, because then nobody can do it again, because people will be like, it's already been done, but it was done so terribly. The writing felt amateur, like it felt like I was reading something written by a high school student or someone who's just started writing, not like a seasoned writer. The story lacked depth. The ending was so awful. The plot twist it was just terrible. And then the author kept on trying to put like these figurative words to try and distract us from the terrible story. I was not distracted. Honestly, this was a terrible read. And in the book club, one of the members just said, this book should be named A Thief of Time. And I totally agree. I gave it 2 stars. Please skip this one. I don't even know how it made it on this list. I don't understand the people who make these lists, because how can you read this and compare? Yeah, let me not waste any more time on that. Let us move swiftly onto a much better experience, which is The Correspondent by Virginia Evans. I had to get a copy of this. I first listened to it as an audiobook because I wasn't sure of how good it was. I had to order it. It follows an older main character. She's called Sybil Van Antwerp. And she's 73, she's retired, she's a mother, she's a grandmother, and what she loves doing is writing letters. So the book is told through letters that Sybil writes to people and the ones that she receives. So basically through written correspondence, hence the name. And I cannot even start to explain to you how much joy this book brought me. I loved this book. I love books where the main character is an older person. There's so much life experience that I enjoy reading, and I just felt like this is one of those fictional characters that I wished was real, so that we could exchange correspondence. Absolutely loved it. And in the book, the author keeps on putting in different book titles, because Sybil is also a reader. So when she writes to someone, she tells them which book they are reading, what are you reading. So like I have a list of books that were mentioned that I want to read. Absolutely loved it. And reading these letters just felt so intimate and so human, and it actually inspired me to start writing letters myself. I think is kind of beautiful when you think about it. So hopefully I'll keep doing that, just writing letters and receiving letters from loved ones. This got a 4.75 stars from me. Almost 5 stars. I don't know why I didn't give it 5 stars. I might bump it up to 5 stars, but at the moment it's 4.75. I want to reread it again. I loved it. A beautiful reading experience. Next up is Reservoir Beaches by Dahlia de la Cerda. She's Brazilian, and let me just check, because I don't have the physical copy. I borrowed it from my library, and I read this also with a book club. So I'll just check in my journal the translator, because translators are very important. We have to give them their flowers. Translated from Mexican Spanish by Johanna Malcha. This is a sharp and feminist collection of short stories that looks at the lives of women who are living in Brazil and how they are navigating violence and survival and patriarchy and systematic inequality. This book could be set anywhere. It could be set anywhere in the world. It could be set anytime in the world. It could be set even digitally, not only physically but also online, because it just reminded me of how unsafe the world is for anyone who is not a man. It's not like as a woman I don't need a reminder, but I guess we still do, because it gives a voice to the voiceless. The book is raw, it's uncomfortable, it's unflinching, it is jarring, but it's also a very important piece of literature for which I'm grateful for. Yeah, it's important. Definitely one of those books that just make you stop whatever you're doing and take a break and rest and think. I gave it 4 stars. A powerful book. And finally, we have Dominion by Addie E. Citchens, which I have here. An absolutely beautiful cover. I love this cover. I prefer this cover to the other one. I borrowed this from my library too. And this one has also been shortlisted for the Women's Prize for Fiction. And this one explores themes of control, of faith, of community, the Black child, and it does this by following characters who are dealing with generational trauma, generational expectations, and also identity. And it does this through characters who are in the church. So there's a pastor and first lady and their kids. There's also a young woman who is also involved in it. I have to say I had really high hopes for this one, maybe because I've seen it a lot and maybe because it's been shortlisted. But it ended up just being overhyped and disappointing to me. I felt like the characters were very surface level. They were not well fleshed out. I mean, the book is, I think, 93 pages. I think that the writer could have still used that to flesh out the main characters. They just felt really one-dimensional. And the themes that she chose, they are important, but they were handled in a way that felt really cliche. It was just what you expect of a book that is based on a South Black church. But there was a lot of culture missing from it. There was nothing about food, about the heat, about the church ladies, about the ushers, about the outfits, the hats, the music. It felt like I was reading a short story. I don't know. It just didn't do it for me. So I gave this 2.75 stars. So that was my May reading wrap up. A very mixed month, like I said before, but also a very interesting one because of the Women's Fiction Prize shortlist theme. It really introduced me to books that I would probably never have picked up. So I am actually proud of myself for going on this challenge. I have one more book left to read. I'm going to finish it probably tomorrow. That's the one by Lily King. I also got it from my library, and then I'll be done because I already read The Mercy Step. Then I'll be done with the shortlist. I would say that if you take anything from this video, it will be that you must try and read Kingfisher and The Correspondent. Those were my top favorites. Of course, Reservoir Beaches is also so important, but stay away from The Guardian and The Thief. Please do not. Let me know in the comment section if you've read any of these books or what were your favorite reads in May and your least favorite reads of the month. I'd love to hear from your side. So please share in the comment section. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you. Happy reading and bye.